The air was thick with wonder and tension. Jesus had just given sight to a man born blind. Imagine a lifetime of darkness, suddenly flooded with light. This miracle echoed through Jerusalem, stirring hearts and hardening some. The Pharisees saw Jesus as a rule breaker, a challenge to their authority. This healing was more than physical, it was a profound spiritual statement. Light pierced darkness, hope touched despair. The man, once an outcast, declared, "I was blind, but now I see." His simple testimony cut through complex arguments, yet for some this light was too bright. They preferred the shadows of their traditions. They questioned the man, his parents, and even the source of Jesus' power. In this charged atmosphere, Jesus begins to speak. He uses everyday pictures: sheep, shepherds, a sheepfold. These were images his listeners understood intimately. They knew the shepherd's dedication and the sheep's dependence. Jesus was painting a picture of care and preparing to contrast it with danger. John 10:10 is a powerful declaration, a line drawn in the sand. Jesus is about to distinguish his mission from others. He reveals his heart as the Good Shepherd. He shows the stark difference between those who give life and those who steal, kill, and destroy. This verse invites us into a deeper understanding of his love and purpose. Jesus' words flow into the ongoing dialogue using simple, relatable images. He talks of sheep, shepherds, and a sheepfold, a place of safety. These were images his listeners understood intimately. They lived in a land where shepherds dotted the hillsides. They knew the shepherd's dedication and the sheep's dependence. Jesus was painting a picture of care and preparing to contrast it with danger. John 10:10 is a powerful declaration, a line drawn in the sand. Jesus is about to distinguish his mission from others. He reveals his heart as the Good Shepherd. In Jewish culture, the image of a shepherd and his sheep was deeply resonant. It was woven into their history and faith. Their great patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, were shepherds. King David, Israel's most beloved king, began as a shepherd boy. He penned psalms that spoke of God as his shepherd. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," he wrote. These words echoed in their synagogues and prayers. The shepherd symbolized leadership, guidance, and tender care. The relationship between a shepherd and his sheep was one of profound connection. A shepherd knew his sheep, called them by name, and they recognized his voice. He led them to green pastures and still waters, protecting them from predators. The sheep trusted their shepherd completely, finding safety in his presence. This was an intimate, life-sustaining bond. God himself was often portrayed as the shepherd of Israel. The prophets spoke of him gathering his scattered flock and tending to the weak and injured. When Jesus spoke of shepherds and sheep, his audience understood. They grasped the weight of his words, touching on something sacred and central to their identity. The concept of a good shepherd represented faithfulness and self-sacrifice. The listeners would understand the qualities Jesus was invoking. They would also understand the devastation caused by a false shepherd, a hireling who cared nothing for the sheep and would flee at the first sign of danger. Jesus was tapping into this deep well of cultural and spiritual understanding. He was preparing them to see himself in this cherished role. Jesus introduces a contrasting figure, the thief. This isn't just a petty pilferer, this is someone with sinister intent, someone who does not enter the sheepfold by the gate but climbs in by another way. His methods are deceitful, his motives destructive. The thief could represent the false teachers of Jesus' day, religious leaders more concerned with their own power than the spiritual well-being of the people. These false shepherds laid heavy burdens on the people, offering no true spiritual nourishment. They were like wolves in sheep's clothing, their teachings confusing and actions exploitative. Jesus was exposing their hypocrisy, showing them as illegitimate leaders. Their entry was unauthorized, their presence a danger to the flock. Beyond the immediate context, the thief symbolizes Satan, the great adversary. His work has always been to oppose God's plan, to undermine God's goodness, and to lead humanity astray. He is the ultimate deceiver, the father of lies. He whispers doubts, sows discord, and tempts us away from the true shepherd. His desire is to separate us from God's love, leaving us vulnerable and alone. He is the ultimate spiritual predator. Recognizing the thief, whether as a false human leader or the spiritual enemy, is the first step. The first step towards resisting his influence and seeking the true shepherd's protection. Jesus' teaching helps us understand the spiritual battle that is always raging. There are forces at work in the world that seek to draw us away from life, truth, and God. The thief operates in the shadows, using cunning and deception. He promises freedom but delivers bondage, offers pleasure but leads to pain. Recognizing the thief is crucial for spiritual survival. It helps us be vigilant and aware of the subtle ways the enemy works. Often he creeps in quietly, through small compromises and doubts, but his ultimate agenda remains the same: steal, kill, destroy. This is the stark reality that Jesus contrasts with his own life-giving purpose. Jesus is specific about the thief's intentions: to steal, kill, and destroy. The thief steals joy, peace, and our sense of purpose. He kills our relationship with God, extinguishing faith. Finally, he seeks to destroy, causing utter ruin. But Jesus offers a life of purpose, peace, and joy. His presence is our safe pasture, his guidance our sure path. In stark contrast to the thief's dark agenda, Jesus declares his own mission. "I have come," he says, "that they may have life." The thief takes, Jesus gives. The thief diminishes, Jesus enhances. His purpose is to bring true spiritual life, a life that begins now and extends into eternity. This isn't just about mere existence, it's about a quality of life, a vitality that comes from being connected to the source of all life. This life he offers is a gift, freely given to all who will receive it. It satisfies the deepest longings of the human heart, filling the emptiness that worldly pursuits can never touch. Jesus is the gate for the sheep, the way into this new kind of living. He doesn't just point the way, he is the way. Through him we find forgiveness, reconciliation with God, and a new beginning. His coming was an act of pure love, an invitation to step out of darkness and into his marvelous light. Jesus doesn't stop at just offering life, he adds a crucial dimension. And that they may have it more abundantly. He offers a life that is overflowing, rich, and full. This isn't about material possessions or worldly success. It's about a spiritual abundance, peace, joy, love, and purpose. This promise of abundant life is central to the gospel. Jesus came to restore what was lost, heal what was broken, and make all things new. He is the good shepherd who lays down his life for the sheep so that they might live to the full. His purpose is entirely constructive, positive, and life-affirming. He desires for us to experience the fullness of what God intends for us. A life that is not just endured but celebrated. A life that reflects his own goodness and grace. What exactly does Jesus mean by abundantly? The Greek word suggests something over and above, more than enough. It speaks of a superabundance, a lavishness. Abundant life means a deep, abiding connection with God. It means experiencing his presence in our daily lives. It means having a peace that surpasses all understanding. This is the life that Jesus offers, a life that is truly life. John 10. 10 is packed with profound theological themes. First and foremost is the theme of Christ as the Good Shepherd. This imagery was rich in meaning for his Jewish audience but transcends that context. Jesus declares, "I am the Good Shepherd." The Good Shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. This points directly to his sacrificial death on the cross. He willingly gives his life to save his flock. This leads to another crucial theme, the contrast between true divine leadership and false destructive leadership. Jesus presents himself as the legitimate shepherd, the one whose voice the sheep recognize. The false shepherds, the thieves and robbers, are illegitimate and self-serving. Their influence is harmful. This theme calls for discernment, urging believers to test the spirits, to distinguish between voices that lead to life and voices that lead to destruction. It's a timeless warning against being misled by charismatic but corrupt leaders. Underlying this entire discourse is the theme of spiritual warfare. The thief represents not just human antagonists but also the spiritual forces of evil. Satan's desire is to steal, kill, and destroy. This highlights the ongoing battle between good and evil, between God's kingdom and the powers of darkness. Jesus' coming is a decisive act in this cosmic conflict. He comes to defeat the enemy, reclaim what the thief has stolen, and restore what he has destroyed. Finally, the promise of abundant life itself is a powerful theological statement. It speaks of God's incredible generosity and his desire for humanity to flourish. This abundance is found only in Christ, the source of all true life. These themes together paint a rich picture of God's redemptive plan. The words of Jesus in John 10:10 are living water for our thirsty souls today. In our modern world, we are bombarded by countless voices and influences, all vying for our attention. How do we discern the voice of the true shepherd amidst all this noise? Jesus' teaching provides a clear standard. Does this influence lead to life, Or does it subtly steal, kill, or destroy? We must learn to recognize the tactics of the thief in our contemporary context. He may come disguised as progress, freedom, or self-fulfillment. He may promise quick fixes and easy answers, but his underlying motive remains the same: to steal our peace with anxiety, kill our faith with doubt, and destroy our relationships with selfishness. We need to be vigilant and examine the fruit of the influences we allow into our lives. Are they drawing us closer to God or further away? This discernment is a vital skill for spiritual survival. The invitation to abundant life is still open and as relevant today as it was 2,000 years ago. Jesus still calls us to himself, offering a life that is rich and full, a life of purpose, peace, and joy. This is not an escape from reality, but an engagement with reality on a deeper, more meaningful level. It means finding our security not in our circumstances, possessions, or achievements, but in the unwavering love and protection of the Good Shepherd. He knows us and calls us by name. Finding security in Jesus' protection is paramount in these uncertain times. The world can feel like a dangerous place, full of unseen threats, but the Good Shepherd promises to be with us, guide us, and protect us. When we stay close to him and listen to his voice, we can navigate the challenges of life with confidence. Not because we are strong in ourselves, but because he is strong for us. His presence is our safe pasture, his guidance our sure path. The invitation to abundant life is still open. It is as relevant today as it was 2,000 years ago. Jesus still calls us to himself. He still offers a life that is rich and full. The message of John 10:10 culminates in a hopeful, urgent call, a call to embrace the spiritual abundance that Christ offers. He has opened the gate and stands ready to welcome us into his fold, into a life that is truly life. This isn't an exclusive club, it's an open invitation, to anyone who is thirsty, searching, or longing for something more. The choice is ours. Will we listen to the voice of the thief, leading to ruin, or will we heed the gentle call of the Good Shepherd? Seeking this spiritual abundance in Christ is a daily journey. It's about cultivating a relationship with him through prayer, reading his word, and fellowship with other believers. It's about intentionally choosing his way, even when the world pulls us in a different direction. It means surrendering our own desires and agendas and trusting his leadership. It's a path of discipleship growth and ever-increasing fullness. A life that overflows with his goodness. Do not settle for a life that is less than what God intends for you. The thief wants to convince you that this is all there is, a struggle, a fleeting pleasure here and there followed by emptiness. But Jesus offers so much more. He offers a joy that endures, a peace that anchors the soul, and a love that never fails. He offers himself the bread of life, the living water, the Good Shepherd who knows your name, and who laid down his life so that you might live fully and abundantly. Let the promise of John 10:10 inspire you today. Let it stir in your heart a longing for that abundant,